Some of college football's biggest stars were drafted.
While the Hornets endured one of the most biggest losses in NBA history.
I'm Alex Stone.
I'm Vincent Lewis.
And I'm Nader Murphy, and it's game time.
Well, it was a big weekend in the NFL draft. The Saints have picked up 3 more key acquisitions to their defense. They have Malcolm Jenkins from the Ohio State Buckeyes. You guys' thoughts?
Malcolm Jenkins has some good ball skills. He can definitely attack, everywhere. Like, if you look at his highlights, he's always where the ball is.
Right.
Yeah, he's a ball hog.
Another thing about that is he can play cornerback and safety. So that's a good thing for the Saints because they don't know where they're going to go with the safety position after Darren Sharper. So they might could transition him back into being safety.
Right.
They also drafted Chip Vaughn, who is a
Forest.
safety from Wake Forest, and linebacker Stanley Arnault. Stanley Arnault was a good pickup because, as we all know, in the NFC South, Tampa Bay got Kellen Winslow, and Atlanta just traded and got Tony Gonzalez. So we definitely needed a linebacker to stick the tight end, so I think he's a good pickup.
I like them picking up Malcolm Jenkins because, here's what I got. He's a New Jersey kid. He's over 6 foot.
Like the New Jersey kid.
New Brunswick, what can I say?
Right.
He's got good size. He comes up, fills the holes, makes tackles. He's an Ohio State kid. Ohio State kids normally do pretty well in the NFL.
And another thing he does is he steps up and stops the run.
Right.
That's another thing. So and he also, stopping the run wise, he reminds me of Mike McKenzie.
Right. And the Saints also released Hollis Thomas and Brian Young from their defensive line.
I think it was time for them to go, to
Think
be
it's
honest.
time?
Yeah, because they've been with the Saints for 5 years. These last couple of years, they've been injured. Brian Young has always been injured since he's been here. So, it's time for somebody else to step up.
Right.
We got Rod Coleman.
Kendrick Clancy.
And we got Kendrick Clancy, and we got Cedric Ellis. So I think we got some fresh legs at DT.
It's the NFL. You like those guys. They've been with the team 5 years, but there's been not enough progress. We need some new faces in there.
Right.
Get some things done.
Right. Also in NFL news, Ed Curry, the best linebacker in the nation.
That dude.
Seattle Seahawks have drafted him.
Ed Curry is a phenomenal linebacker. He's a beast. Another thing, Detroit was very, they wanted to draft him with the first pick. They wanted to, but obviously we know they needed a quarterback. But I think Ed Curry lined up with Tatupo at linebacker. They're gonna have a good linebacker.
Yeah.
Right.
Ed Curry, he's a beast. I wouldn't be one to run the ball ahead up against that guy coming through the 2-hole.
Right.
Well, let's talk about the Plexico Birds incident. He was released by the New York Giants. Now, the New York Jets has contacted him, so he might stay in New York.
The one thing about the Giants' decision on Plexico Birds, I agree with it because why have a player on the roster and you're still paying him money? You still got him on the roster, you're still paying him money, and you still have to give him his bonuses and stuff like that. So why keep him on the team? Release him, save that money, and see what happens. They don't know if he's gonna go to jail or not.
The New Orleans Hornets lost by 58 points the other night to the Denver Nuggets. What do you guys think about that? 58 points.
I don't know.
That's a senior citizen.
I don't know what's wrong with this team. They don't even look like they belong in the playoffs. They need to go home. I hope they
Not
lose.
playing against Denver.
I hope they lose tonight so they can just stay home because 58 points. We're not talking about 10, 20. 58.
Yeah.
It was an embarrassment being that the Hornets only had 15 points at the end of the first quarter.
Man.
15 points.
That's CYO basketball, 15 points in the beginning of the first quarter.
Yep.
But like we said in the last show, Chris Paul cannot do everything by himself.
Yeah, that's the problem.
The bench sucks.
Right.
Period.
Chris Paul only had 4 points and 6 assists. David West was the highest scorer with 14. I couldn't believe that.
Listen to me. David West is not consistent at all.
That's what we touched
Tyson
on
Chandler,
last time.
I think they should have traded him for real.
No.
Because he does not do nothing.
No.
He does not
He gets you rebounds. And
He's walking up the court limping.
Here's what the Hornets need. They need more players who can create shots for other guys because all they have is Chris Paul. He had 4 points the other night.
4 points. Chris Paul with 4 points. That don't even sound right.
But you understand, Denver got away with a lot of things.
Man, let me tell you.
Chris Paul stayed on the floor for
maybe
eight
they could get away with murder. They still should have won by 58.
Take the easy route and blame the refs. They got beat by 58 points. There's no excuses today. That's it. There's no excuses to it. They got beat.
That's ridiculous.
Matter of fact, they didn't get beat. They got slaughtered.
Right.
That's
Right.
it. That's it. End of the subject.
What do you guys think about Russell? Should he stay or should he go?
Who?
Byron.
Oh, Byron gonna stay.
Byron should.
Byron's gonna stay.
I think
Yeah.
you should fire Byron.
No.
Nah, I don't
No.
think so.
I
They made
think-
that mistake in
listen,
New Jersey.
I
Look
think-
what happened.
listen,
It's not Byron Scott.
A good move to do is fire Byron and sign Avery Johnson.
I like Avery.
New Orleans native.
I don't have a problem with Avery.
Avery
I don't
Johnson.
have
Avery Johnson.
Avery Johnson could be an assistant coach, but Byron Scott is he was a great coach. You can't blame him for everything that's
He's a
on
good
his
coach,
plan.
but
I mean, you got to look at it. Do you think
Sometimes
Avery
changes
Johnson
move.
is a better coach than Byron Russell? I don't think so. I think New Jersey lost out when they fired him. I think New Orleans needs to stay with him, gut it out, get some new players in there, get a little more talent, get somebody to support Chris Paul.
That's
And I think things could go in a positive direction if they do that. But I don't think the answer is firing
if
the coach.
If they were to fire him, I think Avery Johnson would be a good candidate.
Yeah, he would because he's from New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
He attended St. Augustine, and he's a good coach.
We're not gonna talk about that. But anyway,
Well, also in NBA news, what you think about the Houston Rockets in Portland?
the Houston Rockets, they've been consistent, and their bench has stepped up tremendously, and they are leading 3-2, and they're headed back to Houston. So I think they'll pull it off.
Well, it was an interesting week in baseball. The Red Sox swept the Yankees 3-0. You guys comments on that?
You already know my thoughts on the Yankees.
I mean, I didn't see that one coming. You know, they got that new stadium. I thought they were, ready to ball out. But I mean, it's early. We can.
But Derek Jeter has been good leading off with Johnny Damon coming behind him.
Right, that's true, but the Red Sox are the team to beat to me.
Yeah.
I don't think
The
so.
Red Sox are the team to beat, in my opinion. I told you guys on the last show what I thought about the Yankees. They have all these players. They're not doing nothing, and they didn't win one game. They got swept. So
Right.
I mean, they just got plagued by some bad pitching. Ball didn't bounce their way.
Well,
I mean, hey, we're moving on.
I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I'm not disappointed. I tell you that much.
I like both teams. I don't have any. I like the rivalry. It's been going on for over 100 years now.
Right.
But in the 3-game sweep, when Andy Pettitte was pitching, Tim Wakefield stole home while he was pitching. Andy Pettitte didn't even see it coming.
I mean, he's a lefty pitcher, so it's a little bit easier, But I mean, that was just a great steal. That's good
Right.
coaching by the third baseman. So
And manager Terry Francona was excited. He was looking like, wow, why did you steal home?
I don't know, man. I'm telling
it
you.
brought back some great feelings, though. I mean, you
Right.
guys remember when Jackie Robinson stole home?
Right.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
all they kept
It
playing.
broke
So.
an MLB record 10 years by the New York Yankees that somebody had stole off of a pitcher like that.
The Yankees they have a good squad. I just hope we need a little bit more from them. Just
Think
in
so?
general. Just in general, as an overall team, we need more from them. Their expectations is high just in general for that team.
Right.
So they have to play for it, and they have to play to that expectation, and also they can't be getting swept.
Right. Well, in the AL East, you have Tampa Bay Devil Rays, you have the Yankees, you have the Blue Jays, the Orioles, and the Red Sox. Who do you guys think is going to win?
I don't know. I don't like.
Devil Rays shocked us.
I don't
Remember?
like the Yankees, so I go with. I don't know. I try to say the Orioles.
Say
You
those?
said Orioles. I'm gonna go with the Devil Rays,
I go with the
man.
Orioles.
Devil Rays 2 straight years?
Yeah, I mean, you never know. You can see we're gonna see what happens. We're gonna see what happens. I'm excited to see what happens. Who do you like? You're a baseball guy, man. Who do you like?
Well, you know I'm a Cubs fan.
Oh,
You know,
Shout
being
out.
that we in our 101 year devastation.
I just and you know what? Speaking of that, I just hope the Saints, going back to the football the topic, I hope the Saints don't last that long for them to reach the Super Bowl.
right.
Because I think I'll be dead by then.
Well, in the
Yeah.
NL Central, you have the St. Louis Cardinals, the Milwaukee Brewers, the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Chicago Cubs, and the Houston Astros. You know I'm going with the Cubs.
I like the Cardinals.
The Cardinals, Albert Pujols?
Albert Pujols is a beast.
Oh,
He's a beast. He's not a beast.
he's a beast. He's a beast.
He's a beast. He
Yeah.
always hitting home runs, and it seems like they always in the playoffs every single year. So
Well, that wraps up this edition of Game Time.
we'll see you next week.